Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here and for being subscribed. If you are not, go ahead and hit that button. If you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this conversation / reality chat. Listen, guys, I want to just play a little bit of an interview that DJ Richie Skye did with Kiki Jabbar. She is the cousin to Tisha Scott on Love and Marriage Huntsville. As if you have been watching, as you know, she is a cast member this season. She was introduced last season. And before I play this clip, I want to say something because I personally never felt that Letitia's cousin, Kiki, came on the show to try to disparage her cousin, that she was jealous of her cousin, that she was trying to put her cousin's marriage on blast, or trying to get what some people would call the ops, which Letitia would definitely call her the ops, especially at that time, would be Melody, because when she was introduced on the show, she came to Melody's like little Christmas sleepover party that she was having that Letitia was not invited to. And a question was asked of Kiki, and I didn't see this as Melody trying to disparage Letitia's marriage or trying to do get back, because I did hear a number of people say and even see some comments about that situation last season where, some people had the thought that Melody was being messy and she was trying to put Letitia's marriage on blast by using somebody else to do it versus doing it herself. Like, people were trying to insinuate that Melody wanted to keep her hands clean while allowing somebody else to get their hands dirty and act innocent. Like, well, I'm just asking a question. I never saw it in that way because, first and foremost, as messy as Carlos is, let's just be real, this is a reality show. There are questions that people have had about the marriage, especially there are people who feel that Marsau has not been faithful to his wife. And honestly, most people don't even really care. It's just the fact that Letitia wants to put their marriage on a pedestal because they've been married for a number of years, and she claims that she has never had to deal with infidelity in their marriage. I'm not one of those people that believes that all men cheat and that every marriage is broken and every marriage deals with infidelity, because I do believe that everyone is imperfect. I do believe that. And I do believe that because everyone is imperfect, there are no perfect marriages, because you have two people who are coming together to form a union for whatever their purposes are. And people have issues, but not everyone's issues are infidelity. So I'm not even one of those people that believes that every man cheats or that all people deal with cheating. I don't. But just because I don't believe that doesn't mean that I don't believe that Letitia hasn't dealt with that or had the thoughts about it with her own marriage. And she's even said on the last reunion how she saw some chick sent Marsau either a text message or a direct message on social media of her body parts, and he was responding to the person. So obviously, he isn't innocent and wandering. We'll just put it like that. So when the question was asked of Kiki, and I feel that some people saw Kimmy as being mature, but I felt like she was being messy, but also doing the reality show thing that some people do when it's like, well, I don't really have much going on with myself, or I don't really want to reveal much going on with myself. I'll get involved in other people's stuff. And so Kimmy told Letitia about it because the question was asked by Melody about the marriage, not so much the marriage, but did Letitia ever feel that Marsau had wandered, or had she ever felt insecure in her marriage? And I could tell that Kiki was answering the question in a diplomatic way because she was still trying to think about, well, this is my family member. I'm not trying to be messy. So Kiki was not being messy. So when people were saying that she was being messy, I didn't agree with that. I believe she was answering a question. Of course, she could have said, well, I don't really want to get into that if she wanted to, but she's on a reality show. So I really didn't see anything wrong with the answer that she gave to Melody. And Melody wasn't prying or digging deeper and saying, girl, I know you know more than that. Tell me some more. Like, it was nothing like that. So I didn't see either one of them being messy in that situation. I didn't. But as you know, Letitia, she gets mad at the wrong people. And Letitia definitely threw stones, not necessarily hit her hands, but she definitely threw stones when Melody was going through what she was going through in the horrible defunct marriage that she is out of now. Praise God, And then she gets upset when someone makes comments about her marriage. You know what I mean? But at any rate, the thing that really angered me about Letitia's way of handling her cousin is the fact that her cousin was going through an addiction that she actually was trying to address. She went to rehab for. This is someone that knows that what they're dealing with is not something that's good and they need to get some help. So to find out, and Kiki was being diplomatic in that way as well, because she didn't come out immediately. She could have said it at the party at Melody's home. She could have said, well, she was talking about me. Her and Marsau, they were talking about me and telling my personal business to you and your husband at the time. So listen, I'm going to tell it all. She never did that. But to find out after the fact that she was being talked about in a negative way, disparaging way about her addiction issues by Tisha and Marsau, and they were claiming that they were trying to be protective of Melody because if something came up missing, if she went to the bathroom and they went through the drug cabinet, then everybody doesn't have oxycodone or prescription drugs in their house. So for them to even say that is absolutely ridiculous. They were just being messy and also trying to prevent somebody that they didn't care for, who is Tisha's cousin, from being on the show. Because just because someone is family doesn't mean that you have to like them or that you actually do like them. I have family members that I don't like. And so it's not believable to me that they were trying to be protective of Melody and her husband at the time's house by telling them this information. They were being messy, period. And not just being messy, I feel that they were being downright dirty. So my personal opinion of them is that they're trash. I don't like that about them at all. And even though that's Kiki's cousin, and I feel that Kiki is that type of person that has that thing, I'm going to try because it is family. And they say family over everything. So I'm going to try my best. But I feel like I don't care if you're family and you do me dirty in a big way like that. I don't have to try to repair the relationship. I don't owe that to anybody. I don't care if we have siblings in common or if we even are siblings. I don't care if we're cousins. I'm sorry. I don't even care if you're my parent. I'm not saying that I would be in a disrespectful way about how I would handle the person, but that doesn't mean that I have to be involved with you. That doesn't mean that I have to communicate with you. That doesn't mean that I have to have a relationship with you, because we could be related and not have a relationship, if you get my drift. So to find that out about them and what they were doing, I just don't like that about them at all. And if you saw the mid-season trailer and you saw the clip of Marsau saying, if you're a druggie, then I'm going to call you a druggie. People who get addicted to drugs, for the most part, have either, like Kiki, been sick, had surgery of some sort, and they were taking those pills and they got addicted to the way it made them feel, and they continued to take them because they got used to feeling whatever way it made them feel. And if you have addiction in your bloodline, that could be a generational curse that you really have to check. And I can say for sure myself, because I know that I have addiction in my bloodline. So the times that I have had to have surgery, I on purpose either did not take any of the pain meds Or I may have taken one or two the day of, and then I have someone get rid of them because I said I'm not going to get involved in that. I refuse to get addicted or hooked to anything. So I get where she's coming from. But listen, to see that mid-season trailer and see how Marsau was speaking about Kiki, and also to see Kiki throw that drink in Tisha's face, listen, I'm not condoning it, but I understand. I understand. I've never had to throw a drink in anyone's face, and thankfully I've never had anyone throw a drink in mine, but I don't do things like that to get people so irate where they feel like they have to pick up a cup and swish in my face direction. I'm sorry. I just don't see it from Marsau and Tisha at all. But I'm going to play this clip because Kiki made a lot of good points, and the interview was really good. I'm going to put a link to it in the description box. She did the interview with DJ Richie Skye on his YouTube channel, and she shared a lot of things, but a lot of the things that she was talking about, to me, it just really revealed that, in my opinion, Tisha is just under the guise and under the spell of her husband, and she does what he says. And even if she may not necessarily feel the exact same way that he does, she's going to forsake the relationships that she had with someone in her family that she was pretty close to, because this is my husband and I'm going to cleave to my man and I'm going to forsake all others. And girl, it's not even supposed to be like that. You're just sacrificing people that really could be there to support you and possibly help you to get out of this marriage if you're not happy in it. I'm not here to say that she needs to get out of it, because it's, for me, I don't care. If you like it, I love it. Stay in the marriage. Be married for 55 years. Be there till death do you part, and allow him to make you feel the way that you feel and do the things that he's doing behind your back, because he definitely does not respect her. And I don't respect either one of them. I don't. So I'm going to play this clip so that you guys can just hear some of the things that she had to say.
You know, and the doctor won't give me any more. She's the first person I think I explained it all to.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, after I, go to rehab and everything, they, have this discussion around with different associates and friends.
Okay.
This gets back to me. And that was very difficult to take, because at that time I didn't want anybody to know. I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed. If I could have just hid and never come out, I would have. That's the only time in my life where I've ever felt like I didn't want to be on this earth anymore. Mm-hmm. Because I was so far removed from who I thought I was as a person and who I was as a person. It's a very perplexing state to be in during something like that. So to have the closest person to me, one of the closest people to me who I really trusted, was something so gut-wrenchingly difficult to deal with already, to have them kind of exploit it, it was so hurtful. It was extremely hurtful. So, fast forward, after all of this happens, she and Mel become closer. Now, me and Mel had never been best friends, ever. But we were associates, and we do have a best friend who is, a mutual best friend.
Okay.
And, I'm getting a little water. Ooh. Okay, so this mutual best friend would notice that Melody was saying things about me and my character, and she would be like, "No, that's not Nikisha. Why you say that? Why do you think that?" And this was stuff that Tisha was telling her,
Gotcha. Okay.
And that made me feel like some of the things that they said about me, it's almost like they used that to be able to just crucify me, and make me out to be this terrible person that I wasn't, and at heart, especially. It's so difficult to talk about it.
I totally understand, but I do think it gives the viewers a bit more perspective, and to hear it from you, and then B, to also just get a better understanding of where some of this went wrong for you and Tisha. And I wanted to ask you, as you were talking, do you think that if she never had mentioned that to any of the cast members, that you and Letitia would be in a better place today?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that if that would have never come up, that caused a huge wedge in our relationship. It caused a huge level of distrust. And after that, I couldn't see our relationship the same, because I couldn't understand why somebody who I thought loved me, that I loved too so much, I couldn't understand why she would want that information to be known.
Right.
They gave an excuse. To me, the excuse was BS. That's my opinion. It was BS.
Because I have to wonder if, here's the thing. This is a two-part situation, because a part of me has to wonder, like, if it was never mentioned, we wouldn't even be talking. Would we be talking about this right now? Would anybody have found out? Because a big part of being on reality TV sometimes is people like going through your past and stuff like that. It's a flip of the coin whether or not people would have found out about it. What I will say today, though, is, sometimes we go through things in life, especially the older you get, you realize that there are these situations that will totally break you down, but they are totally meant to build you into a new person. So, sometimes God wants you to, he has to stop wherever you were and put you on a different path, but you have to go through X, Y, and Z in order to get there. So I say all that to say that your story can be a testimony to somebody else, because the thing that you said that I did not know earlier was that, the reason you felt like you had an issue was because you were experiencing symptoms when you weren't taking the medication.
Right.
Some people, that's not even a thought to people usually. What happens when you stop? That's how you realize that you had a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I think in a small way, I feel like what you're doing is huge, because it's like it could save somebody's life.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm just going to pause it right there. And actually, I'm just going to stop right there. I'm going to put a link so that you can listen to the entire interview. But basically, what DJ Richie Skye said is true. A lot of times, the things that we go through in life that can be seen as a negative, we can have them turn around into a positive. But the issue that I'm having with Tisha, and her husband, Marsau, which is the same issue that Kiki had with what they did, was it wasn't their story to tell. And the lies that they say about the reasons that they told Melody, it's just not realistic. It wasn't their story to tell. It wasn't their story to share. And her story can definitely be a breakthrough for somebody else, and looks like it's definitely going to be a breakthrough for her, because it's real life. So many people deal with addiction issues, even if it's not something that they deal with themselves, but it may be someone that they're closely connected to that are dealing with it. So her story can definitely affect other people and help them in a positive way. But to hear Marsau call this chick a druggie when she had a problem, I don't have any tolerance for stuff like that at all. It just really pisses me off. So I will forever not like that dude or his wife. I'm sure they could care less, and I don't care either. But I'm saying, when it comes to what she is sharing about her life, because it was brought to light by them, it's not fair. And many people have been outed. And sometimes when you hear outed, you think about someone being in the closet per se. But I'm just saying, many people have been outed because someone else chose to share someone else's tea, so to speak. That's not fair. Yes, you can turn it around and then, share your story yourself. But the way they went about it is just not cool. And that, she said, as you heard her say to DJ Richie Skye, is that if that had not happened, she believes that they would be closer. But I just believe, because of the terrible person the character that he has, or lack thereof, should I say, that she's married to, and her fragile, weak state of mind, there would have been something else. Had it not been for that, there would have been something else, because I believe that Kiki knows more about Marsau than she's letting out. And that just shows her character and integrity to not put him out and expose him like that. Because I'll never forget last season when they were going back and forth. And when Kiki said, when Marsau, like, it sounded like she was about to put something out there about something that he did, and he completely shut her down. Now, I would have still said it if I were her, and I was really hoping that she would. And I think that's one of the things that just kind of annoys me a little bit about her, but I get why. Because I feel that sometimes she may do things where she puts a social media post out there and she'll insinuate or allude to some things, but she won't go any deeper. And it's like, if you're going to tell it, then tell it all. That's just how I feel. But I get it, because I feel that she's still trying to be the bigger person. Well, she is a bigger person, but she's trying her best to show restraint and not go there with those two, because I do believe that in a number of ways she feels that they really aren't worth it for her to even go there, so that her character can be questioned. But I just wanted to talk about that, guys. I really would love to know what you guys think. It really is a good interview, because she talks about a lot of things that I even really agree with and understand, and I've spoken about as well, when it comes to people who go under the knife and the doctors are just prescribing these pain meds. And it's like, why can't you just give someone some high levels of ibuprofen or Motrin or, something like that? Why does it always have to go straight to Oxycontin, oxycodone, whatever? Like, I do believe that these doctors contribute to a lot of that, because I've gotten prescriptions the times that I've had to have surgery, and most of the time I don't even take that stuff. A lot of times I didn't even have it filled. If it was a more major surgery, I may just go ahead and get it filled, and I may take one the day of and maybe one the next day. But after that, the body is designed to heal itself. And so I'm just like, if I need to take something for pain, if I feel like it, I'll just take some Advil or some Motrin or something like that. I'm just not going to go there. But she shared a lot when it came to that. And I definitely am appreciative of her talking about that, because a lot of people need to hear that. It wasn't all about Tisha and Marsau, but she did hit a lot of points when it came to them. And it just made me understand her more, and why I just truly believe that Tisha she sacrificed, I should say, the relationship that she had with her cousin for the sake of television and for her trash husband. But anyway, guys, you let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.